And welcome back from the break as we're ready to dive into some more misery here with the Cincinnati Bengals. Jeff, take her away.
Well, this is a very entertaining game if you're just a football fan. 39-34, 39-34, the Bills end up winning. Really, the Bengals controlled the first half just based on the fact that the Bills had no ability to stop them whatsoever. I think one critical point in that first half, you could say, is that uh, when the Bills turned it over on downs, when it was 21-11, the Bengals had the ball with a minute 11 to go. A little bit unreasonable for them to expect them to score some points, but they didn't. And that gave, I think, the Bills some least confidence that they could stop them at some point. And then the second half starts off with the Bills uh, once again uh, scoring a touchdown and then stopping the Bengals for a punt on a 3-and-out, and then uh, Buffalo has a nice long drive after the 3-and-out, scoring, but then they fumbled the ball out of the end zone, and that's what allowed the Bengals to drive and score 28-18. Now this is when all the fun starts because at that point, and not to be super play by play here, even though it sounds like I am. The Bills drive right up the field, and then the Bengals throw a pick six. Not the Bengals throw a pick six. Joe Burrow throws a pick six.
Mm-hmm.
And deflected off
on a screen pass. And I don't know if that was some miscommunication with Jamar Chase or Joe Burrow, but that appeared to be on Joe Burrow, because that was just not even close to Jamar Chase at all. The Bills run it back for a touchdown, and then the next play after that interception was another interception by Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
Which is definitely on
repeat highlight for a second. And like, no, that's a little different.
Right. Which is definitely on Joe Burrow. And then the Bills march down the field and make it 39-28, and the game is essentially over at that point. However, with that being said, I thought the Bengals, at least offensively, played a very good game. T. Higgins, even with struggling in and out of concussion protocol, I thought he had a fantastic game. I thought Mike Gesicki, who's
he's kind of been a no-show, but he came up big this game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think the reason he's been a no-show is because of the injury to Burrow. And then once Burrow came back, then him and Burrow's chemistry have really coincide well with each other. So he had a nice game. Jamar Chase was okay with 5 receptions for 44 yards.
Mm-hmm.
The running game is still an issue. And Chase Brown had 2 touchdowns in this game. However, one was a reception, one was just a touchdown run, but 12 carries for
still counts
yards
in my fantasy league, sir.
Yes, exactly. Same for me too. And Samaje Perine, 6 carries for 31 yards. Just overall, and then 19 carries for 62 yards total. Still missing something out of that running game. And I thought the defense gave Josh Allen way too much time to throw the ball in this game. I don't know how many times where Josh Allen had 5 or 6 seconds in the pocket, which is to be expected when you have one of the worst one of the worst pass defenses in the NFL. And so they had all the
thank you then
time
for
in the
Josh
world.
Allen on my fantasy team. I appreciate that.
Yeah, yes. The crazy thing too, you mentioned, I think you had a Freudian slip there with the rush defense because your rush defense is bad too. You're historically bad in offense. But yeah, I mean, James Cook had like 98 yards. Josh Allen had 87 yards rushing. Like that's ridiculous that he had that many rushing yards against you too.
Right, and also another big factor I think in this game were the tight ends. Dawson Knox and Dalton Kincaid both had great games. Even when the wide
first game back in like 3 or 4 weeks.
Yep.
Exactly. And what a way to come back when you have the worst pass defense in the league against tight ends by 250 yards. And so that's so Kincaid and Dawson Knox had huge games. Again, even when the wide receivers for Buffalo didn't do much of anything at all. But they didn't need him. And it was all Dawson Knox and Dalton Kincaid.
Yes.
And to me, ultimately, that was the difference in the game.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give your defense some credit, even though I pooed on them a little earlier. Like the first half, I thought they did okay. Not great, but okay, which is what you want your defense to be when you've got Joe Burrow in that offense. You want them to be at least average or okay. But then they just kind of died in the second half. I think some of that spark they lost after those interceptions too, because you still had the lead at that point. Then that first interception with the pick six, and then this right after that, they're back on the field. They've got to be gassed, even though it was a short field situation type of thing. But yeah, different halves there. Kind of the Cowboys in reverse. Good first half, bad second half.
Completely. And that was the thing. Just that those interceptions. I remember I was sitting there watching it, going, "Wow, Cincinnati looks like they're gonna, maybe Buffalo's not who we thought they were. This is really gonna throw us in." And then they threw the first interception and ran back for a touchdown. And I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, that's how you get back in the game." And they threw the next interception right after that, and then came down and Josh Allen ran for a touchdown. I was like, "Okay, there's Buffalo. There's Buffalo showing you that they're going to take this game." I go, the momentum's theirs. I go, it doesn't matter what Cincinnati scores or does. They're just scoring fantasy.
Not to mention going to Buffalo too. Like Sean McDermott called not to just go for the field goal and go for that touchdown too. That was a big call later on too in that second half as well.
Right, and also in the first half as well. There are a lot of times when McDermott went for it. I believe the Bills may have been 3 out of 3 on fourth downs, or 3 out of 4, or something along those lines.
Yeah, 3 out of 4.
And I just thought that also going for 2 to make it a 14-11 game early on in the game, that was a statement as well. But yeah, you got to give credit to Buffalo, even though I think a lot of it had to deal with the Bengals secondary. I still think that you have to give a lot of credit to them as far as being able to utilize the tight ends, and then being able to get not only James Cook involved running the ball, but also Josh Allen running the football as well. And any thoughts of the Bengals making some sort of miracle magical run to win the AFC North that is over now with them being 4-9?
Yeah, you would have to win out and have a lot of help.
You had to
From-
win out,
But
and
you have
everyone
two other
lose
bad
out.
teams ahead of you, so
It could happen.
it could happen.
Not that bad. Not that bad.
Yep, don't see it happening, but stranger things have happened.
Yeah, very true. Very true. And at least you got, was it the Cardinals and Browns and Dolphins after going through the Ravens. So if you beat the Ravens again and you're at
Don't
home
sleep
this
on the
time,
Dolphins. They're on a win streak. They're feeling good about themselves. They're playing spoiler.
are you rubbing that in for your wife after they beat the Jets quite handily?
Well, I mean, not rubbing that into her, but they do have the same record as the Chiefs, and they're feeling good about that. I can tell you that.
True, the Chiefs
Yeah,
feel like
Dolphins
they're in.
both and Chiefs both 6-7 right now.
Mm-hmm.
Very true.
That is it for my Bengals.
Yeah, that game, they gave that game away. They had that game. They had Buffalo right where they wanted to them in the first snow game of the year, which always is fun when you have that first snow game, and it usually always happens in Buffalo. And they were playing well. They looked like they had this game from the get-go, and really up to those two interceptions and on two back-to-back plays. I thought Cincinnati had a good streak to finish the game, but that right there, that just kind of just rubbed their nose back in it, and Buffalo took possession, and they were done at that. And now Buffalo's feeling secure now, at least in a wild card spot, which everybody believed, this last 3 years, everybody says Buffalo's year. Still don't think it is.
If the Chiefs aren't in there, maybe it will be this time.
True, but the Patriots are ahead of them, and the Patriots are their kryptonite.
Yeah, and that's the first loss that Joe Burrow's ever suffered against Josh Allen.
And that's the thing. If the Bills want to win the Super Bowl, they need that Josh Allen every fucking game of the playoffs. All the way
through. Him and Cook, in all honesty. They need both of them.
Oh, they do. But if they have Josh Allen doing that every single game, they have the chance to win. If Josh Allen's doing what he's doing, that opens up that freedom for Cook to do what he can do. But they need that. If they don't have Josh Allen playing like that, and that's been their whole season this year. If Josh Allen's playing out of his mind, they're winning, no matter what the defense does. But if Josh Allen is not playing out of his mind, such as Houston, Patriots, then they're going to lose.
So basically any team with a good pass rush.
Yes. Because Buffalo did to Josh Allen what the Chiefs did to Patrick Mahomes. They took away all of his weapons. And said, here, you're good enough. You can go win anybody. You can make everybody better. You're a great quarterback. You can make everyone better. You can make these guys into superstars. You still need a superstar there. You need someone he can give the ball to that's going to do something. But anyways, we'll wrap that up. And we'll go ahead and take a quick break here, our final break of the night. And we'll be right back with the next round.